Yo, what's up everybody? So, Andrew Mahone here back with another sleeve review video. Thank you all for checking out the first one. Got a lot of positive reactions there, so really stoked about that. Going to be trying out the Card Barrier Super Series standard size sleeves by KMC. These are Japanese sleeves, as you can see by lots of Japanese writing here. In fact, everything on the packaging is in Japanese. I can read almost none of this, except for Super Gold, made in Japan. The card goes in that way. Really pretty cool. I think I may have tried these at one point sometime in my career way back when. I don't exactly remember what I thought about them though. Pretty reasonably priced at $8 for 80 pieces. So this is the exact same price point as the Eclipse Pro Mat sleeves that we reviewed last week. Eclipse Pro Mats, they were so-so. They did okay. I'm not exactly sure that I would be buying them again. So I'm pretty excited to see how these Super Series KMCs end up working out. Got a bunch of sleeves by KMC, so going to be doing the whole gamut here, seeing what we think of this, sleeve making company. So pretty cool, and I'm just excited to get going. So let's get right down to it. Open up the packaging here, and we got two sets of 40 sleeves individually packaged, so that's very nice. We could see here that they look pretty sleek so far. They don't have any sort of decal from what I could tell, not like the Ultra Pro, so that's nice. I do like that there is no branding on the sleeve whatsoever, so it does have this super slick kind of appeal to it. And right when we take them off, man, these sleeves are super glossy. I could feel that just from the get-go. These are some very glossy sleeves. They are not matte whatsoever. So the cards should at least look pretty sweet in these. I could tell I left a thumbprint on one of these. I could see it here. I don't know if you guys could see that on the camera, but I did leave a thumbprint. I mean, this is how glossy these sleeves are. These things feel, very sticky. These things feel like they are going to stick up very quickly, but I'll give them a chance. They do have a beautiful color to them. I do like that. Excited to see what the deck looks like with them on. So let's get right down to it. All right, so just got the deck sleeved up in these KMC Super Series sleeves, and they feel okay. They are very glidey. I mean, you could kind of see there, the deck does not just, sit, very well. As I was stacking them up, I did have some sleeves kind of like doing a little bit of that. You can see I just put the deck down, and it does do a little bit of a gliding thing, and that, that is something that I've noticed with some glossy sleeves. They do tend to do that. The feel of them is maybe somewhere like a little bit of a lower profile Dragon Shield, between like Dragon Shield and Ultra Pro. Not quite as cheap as Ultra Pro. They feel like the traditional Ultra Pros, not the Ultra Pro mats, but they do feel a little bit like the Ultra Pro glossy sleeves, but that they're maybe a little bit thicker. You could actually, can you hear that? Can you hear, they squeak. They squeak. This is how shiny they are. It's like a new pair of shoes or something. Anyways, so these things, they are very glossy. They are kind of reminding me a little bit of the glossy Ultra Pro sleeves, but a little bit thicker. Not nearly as thick as Dragon Shields, but a little bit thicker than the glossy Ultra Pro sleeves. They do have a nice shine to them, though. This is a beautiful color. I do like that. I wonder how well that the corners are going to hold up. I wonder, they're just looking very good right now. I wonder what the grime factor is going to be like as well. You can see, as far as tournament play goes, these are some very glossy sleeves. You can see the glare there. They are going to catch that glare. The art does look beautiful in them, though. I will say, we do get a very crisp image of the cards, so that's nice. You can see the beautiful holographic there showing through the sleeve. But if you catch it at any sort of weird angle, you are going to get that sheen and that gloss. So if you happen to be on stream or something like that, this is not going to be what you want. Usually you're going to want a matte sleeve so that, the viewers that are at home can see the text there very, as best as possible, or the images, at least be able to tell what cards you're playing. So I haven't actually shuffled these yet, so let's get right down to it, see how we do here. Oh no, man, they gripped right up. Did you guys see that? I went for the bridge and they just stuck. Okay, so they did not like the bridge. They did not like that whatsoever. Let's try some overhands. Oh my goodness. And even the overhands, I was expecting these initial overhands to be a lot easier than they are. This is not very easy to do. It is taking some effort. These are some sticky sleeves. I'm not exactly sure what these guys thought as far as shuffling goes. They don't even shuffle, and they're like, how are they glidey? Both glidey and sticky. I'm not exactly sure there, but I'm telling you from the perspective of a competitive player, I would not want to be trying to shuffle these at a tournament. Oh my goodness. Like, and the amount of force, like, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to be gentle with some of these, so like I'll try to be real gentle with my riffle, and just the effort required to get these things to shuffle is just way too high. So overhanding is probably the best way, but you guys could tell I like having to pack these in. Let's see if I could get a side angle for you. If we let's see, we do something like this. It's really requiring quite a bit of effort to get these sleeves to mash together. It doesn't happen smoothly. I mean, you definitely have to kind of pack them in, which is a little concerning. So not feeling very good about these sleeves. In fact, this seems even annoying to have to test with, because I'm going to have to figure out a new way to shuffle, because these things are not even riffling. I can't even imagine being at a card creating factory and just being like, yeah, these, as soon as you take the sleeves out of the card maker or whatever you thought you were going to do, and then you tried to shuffle them and then it didn't work, wouldn't you just like go back to the drawing board and say like, all right, team, like this sleeve didn't shuffle very well, let's try something else? Man, this is concerning. I'm not exactly sure what the future of these KMCs is going to hold. Maybe they'll wear in, maybe I just need to figure out how to shuffle differently. But I've been playing Pokemon competitively for like 5 or 6 years at this point, and telling you this is definitely not a great feeling sleeve from the get-go. I'll give it some testing though. We'll give it some time. At least the sleeve looks great. I'll give it that. Maybe not on camera. As far as stream goes, you might not want that gloss factor, but the cards do look pretty in the hands. I'll give it that. So I'm gonna give these sleeves a little bit more time. Maybe I start to come around to them. Maybe they wear in. I don't know. Maybe some sort of miracle happens and these things get nicer to use. But I'll keep you guys posted and get back to you momentarily. Thank you all for checking out the video. All right, so I'm back after some testing, about a week's worth of testing with these KMC Super Gold Series sleeves, and you're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe it. I actually kind of like these sleeves. After my kind of brutal initial reactions to them, I have found these sleeves to be great in my testing. There's really not a problem with them. Believe it or not, they shuffle just fine now. I was very skeptical that they would buff out. I mean, these, you remember the first video that I showed, these were sticking really, really badly. I would go to riffle and the deck would just lock up. It was not shuffling whatsoever. You can see things are much smoother now. Now, I will say that when you overhand these sleeves, they are a little stickier than, say, your Pro Mats. They are a little stickier. They feel maybe comparable to like Dragon Shields, but maybe even a little bit more difficult to overhand than your Dragon Shield sleeves. But riffling with these does feel absolutely great. There is no problem with that whatsoever. And if we take a look at the corners of the deck, I mean, the corners have really held up. I maybe have one dinged corner in the whole bunch. There is no problems with these corners. You can see that they've really kept their shape great. They're still beautiful. There's like no markings on the backs of the sleeves. They have upheld what I consider to be really, really well over the course of a week's worth of testing. They do remind me a little bit of Dragon Shields, just in the consistency, in the thickness. They are definitely glossy. They are very glossy, and the corners are really sharp. I mean, they like sometimes like your hands will feel a little raw after shuffling them for some time, just because of how sharp the corners are. But I can forgive that. I mean, it's just because these sleeves, they feel so crisp, so I'll forgive the sharp corners, just because, I mean, I'd rather have sharp corners than corners that are dinged beyond belief. You can see they have held up well as far as the grime factor goes too. There is really not a lot, if any, grime on these sleeves. They still look very clean after a week's worth of testing, which is really, really promising. I like that the sleeves look clean. They've maintained a very sleek, professional look. They do have some gloss to them, obviously, as I had said previously, but I am able to look past all of that, especially with how these corners have held up and how well they're shuffling now. I could not believe that the sleeve actually gets better with time. I was expecting it to get worse with time, but I can say that these Super Gold sleeves have really impressed me in the course of the last week. They've gotten much easier to shuffle, and they are very glidey sometimes. I will say that. I have found myself, the sleeves are still a little slick, and I found myself maybe doing some like overhands like this, and you'll see like one will jump out every once in a while just because the sleeves are a little difficult to handle because of how slick they are. So sometimes, sleeves will pop out like that just because they're very slick and a little difficult to handle. Now, I'll admit, I don't shuffle with these sleeves every day, so it could just be something that you have to get a little used to. Also, I don't do like the chucking thing. I'm not super into that. I mostly just do overhands, and there's much less chance that you're going to be dropping any sleeves if you're doing overhand mash shuffling like that. And with riffles, the sleeves work out just great. I will say they are pretty slick, so if you are a shuffler who likes to do like these cuts and like the quick cuts, and I have seen some people, I'm really, really bad at it, but some people will do like this. Wow, look at that, I actually did it. But some people will do this shuffle, and these sleeves do work really well for those kinds of slip and slide shuffles that require your deck to be very slick. They do work well for those. So I can see how these KMC Super Golds do have a following. I mean, I've heard some people say that these are the only sleeves they used, and I can see why. They do have their own unique properties. They hold up their corners well. They hold up well over time, as I've shown. Very few dinged corners, very little grime. They are a little tough to shuffle at first, and I mean the riffling is easy. The mashing is okay. I'll say it's passable. It is definitely not like totally smooth. I mean, it does feel a little grippy when you try to mash your sleeves like this. It does take like a little effort, a little bit of a little bit of banging down there to get the sleeves to mash appropriately. But they riffle so well at this point, and they just feel nice, and the overall look is held up so well that I would actually recommend these for a tournament. If this is, a style of sleeve that you are into, I feel confident recommending these. They hold up well. They're not going to tear. I have not had a single one of these tear in the week that I've been testing, and I shuffle pretty hard, so I feel like I'm a pretty good test as to whether or not a sleeve will tear easily, because I tear pro mats like it is my job. So Super Gold Series, they get the pass. I actually think I might even like these sleeves better than the Eclipses, just because the Eclipses grimed up so bad and started to lock up so quickly, and these sleeves just still look beautiful even after a week of testing. So that's it for my Super Gold KMC sleeve review. Let me know if you guys have used these sleeves before. Let me know what you all think about them. Let me know what you all have had as far as experience go with these sleeves in the comments below. Let me know what kind of products you would like to see reviewed on Darium's competitive Pokemon. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, do all your things, guys. Thank you all for watching. Peace.